Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two pickup trucks making love.
Listen up, Autobots and Decepticons. You're listening to Crime Cuts, a non-linear history of the Transformers franchise on television. I'm one of your hosts, Audrey.
Your other host, Mara.
And, yeah. Now we're starting to cook with gas. With G1 Season 2.
The madness is seeping in.
We're not quite there yet, but we're getting there. I will say, I do understand why things are sent in the production order now.
Mm-hmm.
The Autobots have forgiven the Dinobots.
Yeah, it would be wild to watch this in production order.
No, that's what I'm saying. In production order, the Dinobots should still be locked in a cave at this point, right?
No,
they got out.
No, they got out in season 1. That was.
No, I forgot about that.
SOS Dinobots.
Oh.
No, excuse me, War of the Dinobots.
Yeah, I was about to say, no. SOS Wheeljack is when they get locked in the cave.
SOS Dinobots, they lock them in the cave, but then they let them out. War of the Dinobots is when Grimlock is defects to the Decepticons, which will happen again. And that's when they build Snarl and Swoop, who are here now.
Totally
Dinobots.
forgot about that.
Yep.
Oh well.
We watched.
Shows what I know. This show goes down as a blur. No matter what, a very enjoyable blur. But like, it's. I will say I find it very hard to keep this show straight.
Mm-hmm. Well, most of the time, this show has a hard time keeping itself
right.
straight.
Yeah, there's a reason for that.
We watched the Autobot Run and Atlantis Arise. Now it's really interesting. So this is. I believe this is, if not the first, one of the first episodes, the Autobot Run is, one of the first episodes animated by the infamous studio AKOM. You may have noticed, when watching the Autobot Run, that it looked significantly worse than most episodes do, and that a lot of times, there were literally just using cutouts from the model sheets in scenes, which is why for about 2 seconds, Shockwave is on Earth.
I did not even notice that.
Yeah, so when they're standing around the fucking Transfixatron or whatever, Shockwave is just there.
I didn't even notice that. That's really bad. Oh, wow.
AKOM animated a few episodes of Season 2, but what they're most infamous for is they animated a lot of stuff on Season 3, and Season 3...
Yeah,
this show
season 3 is an interesting experience. It's an interesting experience on the heels of season 2 because it's interesting in such a different way.
Yeah, but a lot of the specifically the 5-parter that launches season 3 is insanely stuffed with the craziest animation errors you could ever think of. A lot of coloring and modeling errors, and all of that is because of AKOM. To
be clear, a 5-part G1 special should be like a huge red flag to you.
alert.
And, yeah, anyone who hears G1 5-part special, this is not you have to expect the writers, first of all, to make a plot that is that last 5 episodes, and that's like a losing battle.
Mm-hmm.
And then it has to be animated, and well, folks. Anyway, that's next season. But for this one, we do start off Autobot Run, more like Autobot drag paper cutouts. Am I right?
Yeah. So we start with Chip and Spike and Bumblebee hanging out at the racetrack. They're watching cars go zoom, and Chip and Spike are like, "Man, it would be cool if the Autobots put on a race for charity." And Bumblebee says, "I'd be down as long as I can go into the speed limit." And I wrote down, "I don't think he knows what a race is."
And then Spike's like, "Yeah, we can convince Optimus to do it because he's kind of a dick, you know." Like, I'm trying to figure out why they included that line, if not for the implication that Optimus is kind of a dick.
This Optimus is like, I guess it's like trying to convince your dad to do something, right? He's like, the G1 Optimus is the most dadly, in my opinion.
You think he's dad? That's very interesting to me.
Well, he's like every Optimus is dad in some manner, right? It's all different. Like,
I think G1 Optimus to me is like childless gay uncle. Because
see,
he's in a position of authority, but actually doesn't care about taking care of any of these people.
that's how I would characterize Armada Optimus. Sometimes,
I mean, that too. They're not mutually exclusive.
He was real laissez-faire, letting those kids run around in battlefields, which so is this Optimus, but it was the 80s,
like,
it was a different time.
Spike, he will throw Spike into any situation whatsoever. He will put a wheelchair user in an active battlefield.
Many times.
Many times, including this episode.
But watch out, Laserbeak has heard the whole thing, and he's gonna bring it back to, as I said, various character sheet models standing around a stupid device in a ghost town.
The Constructicons have invented the Transfixatron from Don't Invent the Transfixatron.
Yeah, they have invented the thing that turns you into a cisformer. And their plan is we're gonna shoot them at the race so that they can't turn into robots and they have to stay cars forever. And of course, immediately Megatron says, "All right, now all I have to do is test it out, Starscream. You get up there."
Well, to be clear, Starscream has spent the last, minute or so basically saying, this is dumb, you're dumb, this isn't gonna work, fuck you. And yeah. Megatron's like, okay, cool, time to test it up. And Starscream's like, no, what if it works?
I'm just like to fuck around. I don't want to find out.
I'm a little birthday boy. I'm just a little guy and it's my birthday.
Yeah, but I don't know if this is riffing on it or if but there's a line where Megatron says, "Now let's test out this idiotic device." And I don't know if that was ironically quoting it.
He was quoting Starscream. He was being sarcastic, quoting Starscream.
Because it locks him in plane mode. Is this like?
This is also a weird kink thing.
Yeah, I was about to say, is this chastity for Transformers?
It's not chastity, but it is like human furniture shit.
It's like pony play.
It's not pony play, but it is like human furniture shit.
Yeah.
It's objectification, like literal objectification.
What's going on in G1? There's all sorts of stuff going on.
Lot of fetish gear going on.
And then my favorite line of the episode comes when Megatron says, "All right, it's ready. Constructicons begin work on the second device."
Yeah. I mean, listen, he has a point. We don't know how long it took them to make this, but if it can be reasonably reproduced, why not? So, also, though, as all of these things go, obviously it's a huge bummer to be locked into alt mode, but it's not exactly debilitating.
No. And we see that they have to do a bunch of extra stuff to make it debilitating.
Yeah.
It is much harder to fight a war when you are just a car, though.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that I don't get the point, but of all the plans, it's not exactly, it's not guaranteed. And Optimus tends to do the most damage as a semi-truck. Yeah,
he is a big battering ram. Now, if all the Autobots had that thing from Dark of the Moon where they could all turn into the mobile weapons platforms, then this would be no problem. But they don't.
But I'm just saying that
it's not the most.
It's a lot of resources that are being dedicated to something with zero guarantee of success.
Well, that's the Decepticon motto, that's the way they roll.
I felt like this one was even less guaranteed than usual.
No, don't worry. We'll get further down the fucking totem pole. We'll get to the rock. We'll start digging beneath the foundation to find the real good stuff.
Yeah. I know about nightclubs.
Nightclubs, robot ninjas, giant purple griffins.
Oh God, Nightbird's so soon. I'm so
Nightbird
excited.
is next week.
Nightbird is around the corner, and I never think about Enter Nightbird when I think about my favorite G1 episodes, but it is top 5.
She's not
if
hot.
Only for She's Not So Hot. Ah! Which I know is an animation error, but it's so funny.
And the week after that, by the way, just to preview, the week after Enter the Nightmare, it is a Prime problem. So
Great, fantastic. So now we're starting to cook with gas.
anyway, at the Ark, everyone's pretty down for this race idea. But then Huffer opens his mouth and goes, "Mwah!" That's basically what it, like, he says words, but like it doesn't matter.
Hey Huffer, we thought you were dead.
I hoped you were dead.
We had wished. It's everyone's least favorite Autobot back again. Congratulations, Gears. Everyone else has someone else they hate more again.
Because that's the thing, right? Gears, like, he complains a lot, but it's mostly about himself. Huffer's just like, fuck, your idea's dumb. I hate it. We shouldn't do that.
Gears at least is able to back his shit up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like,
Huffer,
he can hold his own in a fight.
He throws a rocket devastator later.
Yeah.
Huffer can't do shit except whine. But yeah, there's a really there's a moment I love with Brawn later in Huffer that's really funny. But he basically stays behind with Brawn, Ratchet, and Wheeljack. Despite that, he is, of course, among the Autobots that leave the base to drive to the racetrack. But that's just a classic animation error, and there's a lot of those coming up.
You know what? There's so many of those little bitches. How can you even keep track of them when they're all in one group?
Yeah, like 5 of them appear out of nowhere. They don't even leave the base.
It's not the animator's fault that you're actually able to keep track of the alt mode models.
And they're about to put in so many more.
Oh my god. Beachcomber, baby! Beachcomber,
Yeah.
beachcomber, beachcomber!
So they're all here. Everyone is gathered to watch these, and this is another like thing of like, okay, well, what exactly does the public know here? Because they've announced this race. The Autobots are here, so they know what the Autobots are. They aren't like, what's an Autobot? I'm not going to that race. I'm not paying money for some stupid bullshit. So they know what an Autobot is. And
so
yet,
I think this is just a case of American exceptionalism.
I
think you have like, you know, we are a lot of myself personally, I believe Mara as well, and I think a lot of our listeners are what I would consider to be terminally online. But we also like care about like current events, not just going on in the United States, but like globally. And I think when you surround yourself with people like that, as I have, you forget sometimes that like the average American actually doesn't give two shits about anything outside of like a 25-mile radius of their house.
See, that is a good theory.
However, not average American, but that there are many Americans.
However, the Autobots do indeed regularly operate within the United States.
Right.
So this man who says...
They also operate within East Africa, apparently.
This man who says, where are their cars?
But that's what I'm saying, is that, like... my point is that there are many people who do not care about the news at all.
That's true. You'd think they'd care if there was a bunch of, like, giant robots running around, but I guess...
If it's not killing them, why would they?
So everyone is surprised when they turn into cars.
Not everyone, but some people.
At least one guy.
At least this one guy. And Spike even goes, "Oh, these guys sure are in for a big surprise." Shut the fuck up, Spike.
Alert. Outlier ability spotted. Skywarp teleports in. Hello.
This is a big win for Skywarp fans this episode. And
he
also,
actually does something.
Yeah, he actually uses his outlier ability. Very sexy. Also a big win for Megwarp G1 fans.
Yeah, they have like a full conversation.
And he uses a compliment for him that I can't remember.
He says you are unmatched in treachery, Skywarp, or something like that. Which is a big
he calls him
compliment
my dear Skywarp. That's what it is. Very well done, my dear Skywarp. You are unmatched in treachery, or something like that.
That's pretty high. That's a pretty high compliment among Decepticons.
Yeah, big win for the Megwarp fans in the crowd.
You know, despite this,
or the people like me that thinks he's sleeping with the entire Elite Trine, and that's how he keeps like control over them, because otherwise they would just like go absolutely batshit.
Nobody looks up and sees him. He teleports in. He is a giant flying robot that turns into a plane, holding a big stupid thing.
My theory is that he was flying high enough up, like at altitude, that they couldn't see like his shape. They're just like, yeah, that's a plane.
So there's lots of like Autobots jockeying for position and being like good-naturedly competitive or whatever. I have to say this like announcer is lazy as fuck. I think he was just embarrassed he didn't know any of their names, because it's pretty clear that Jazz wins. It's pretty clear that Jazz wins, but he goes, and the winner is all of us. All of you here today are the winners. I don't know who any of these fucking robots are. But of course, all of them have been hit with the beam that turns you into a cisformer. And everyone notices, like Spike, Chip, and Bumblebee notice the movement and goes, that was weird. Was that a beam? And Bumblebee goes, it's probably fine. What are you talking about, man? It was a beam. He says, maybe it was just an energy discharge from all this speed.
I hope.
You're dumb as a bag of hammers, little man. There's a stunt show. There's a bonus stunt show, I guess.
Sunstreaker, cold constructed confirmed.
Yeah, so
they broke the mold when they made him. Cold constructed confirmed.
Another outlier ability. Windcharger uses his
Windcharger!
fucking magnet powers.
Hey, we also thought you were dead!
He doesn't say anything. No, he won't die until the movie. He just retires.
Yeah.
But hey, 2 outlier abilities in a row. That's pretty good.
Wait, doesn't Windcharger say something about, like... Doesn't he make a comment before Sunstreaker tries? I know it's Optimus who goes, you're not going to get enough momentum. And Sunstreaker's like, I'm going to get enough momentum. And then he goes in and he's like, I didn't get enough momentum.
Yeah, I don't think he says anything. But this is when...
Oh, no, it's Sunstreaker who's like, careful how you use those magnets. Yeah.
He was like, I just got a new paint job. But, the Decepticons are here.
And the Autobot... in that. I like that.
It's me, Sunstreaker.
Sideswipe. We gotta do jet judo.
This is my emotional support Insecticon, Bob.
The different series.
So the Decepticons show up and the Autobots try to transform, but they can't. They've been locked in their turned into cisformers. They are just cars. They're really just some cars.
In Pride Month and everything.
Damn, that's so fucked up of Megatron to do that. And they try, so they Megatron has the Decepticons melt their tires.
Sorry, I'm just imagining a world where like Megatron does this and then gets like really bad optics for being homophobic during Pride Month, for making them all like, or transphobic, for making them all cisformers and having to do like, no, I'm not transphobic, I just hate these guys.
It's unrelated. So they
one of my best friends is trans. Points at Shockwave. What?
What?
He still can't afford top surgery.
Megatron, I've been saving up for a chest reduction for 2 million years. You can't take.
Why do you think he uses the word females?
Females.
He's a misogynist trans man. He's trying to distance himself.
That episode is in this season too. The fucking Sir Truffle Tryon. Females. So.
Oh, yeah, he's true scum.
I'm not naming the episode True Scum Shockwave. You can't make me.
You're the one who said it, not me, Ben.
Okay, they blow out their tires and explode their radios. Is it Thundercracker that has like super incendiary things? No, it's Skywarp that has like incendiary shots. And also, briefly, when he's teleporting around, he is colored as Starscream. So, you know, you win.
I mean, we're just talking about baby shit at this point in terms of animation errors. That's nothing.
We're used to that at this point.
Yeah.
So while Bumblebee and the boys go back to the Ark, everyone else gets marched off to this ghost town. For some horrible thing. And this is where the best scene in the episode happens, because when they report back to the Ark, Huffer's me like, see, I told you it was a bad idea if you'd all just listen to me. And Brawn runs over, grabs him around the waist like a toddler and just starts shaking him around and being like, you shut the fuck up! If you don't shut the fuck up, I'm gonna kill you!
I do like how many instances there are of the Autobots just like not liking each other.
Brawn is literally just like, if you do not stop talking, I will beat you.
Brawn is the best mini-bot.
Picking and when I say picking him up by the waist, I am not exaggerating. He literally just scoops him right up because Brawn is very strong, and he just shut up, shut the fuck up.
No one asked you. Go to hell.
So they're gonna Ratchet and Wheeljack are gonna figure out a way to retransify the Autobots. Who at this point are in the ghost town and they are being introduced to the device. The device has no name. It's just a big purple car crusher with a big arm.
This is like a very weird sequence.
It's so weird.
Like, there's no reason for like any of this.
No. So the plan, now that we know, the plan is they were going to use the transfixinator or whatever to lock them into alt mode. Yeah,
it's stupider than what you said.
Yeah, it is
and I want to make sure we preserve that.
So they were going to use the Transfixatron to lock them into alt mode and then kidnap them and put them in the big stupid car crushers. Like, well, this seems like a really complicated plan.
This is my point. This is what I'm trying to say, is that this has even less like chance of success than most of their stuff, because like locking them in there doesn't actually disable them.
No. Also, there's a weird line where he said like Megatron's like, bring out the Decepticon body shell or something. There's like a spare like body lying around.
Listen, if Wheeljack can do it, if fucking the spark plug can do it.
Mm-hmm. No, that's true. Oh god, that reminds me. I forgot. So when the boys get back to the Ark, they ask Teletrain 1 like what happened. And Teletrain 1 generates the most fucked up looking guy I've ever seen in my life when it's like showing them how the Transfixatron works. It generates this guy who's like a combination of Sunstreaker, Optimus, Skyfire, and Rid 2001 Ultra Magnus. And then he turns into a red sports car, which is even more confusing because he's yellow.
You know that it's been like ruined by Gen AI now, unfortunately, but that old like account, this person does not exist.
Yes, I used to love that account. This Autobot does not exist.
Yeah, this Autobot does not exist. Man, life used to be a dream.
Yeah, so they're gonna put them all in this. They're gonna put them in the Autobot Wiggler, and Ironhide for whatever reason is first on the list. I don't know why. Megatron decided fuck that guy. Hound can apparently, now this is a new ability. We haven't seen this before. Hound can transmit his holograms long range to show people things, because he shoots a hologram into the Ark of the ghost town, and they're all like, oh my god, it's Hound's hologram, this must be where they are. And then Soundwave blows up his hologram projector, but like he can do that, I guess.
I'll give it to him. Like in terms of consistency in this show, that doesn't even faze me. So
that's true.
It's fine. I'll give it to Hound. I also like Hound, so he can have it as a treat.
So as the episode goes on, the animation continually deteriorates, and this is where it kind of starts, and this is where things start looking really good. So the plan is when they say Ironhide's the first to go, they all start driving in circles around Ironhide like they're circling the wagons. And Megatron says to Constructicons, deal with that. And I literally had to pause the episode because I was laughing so hard at this shot. What that means is that Bone Crusher walks up, picks up Jazz like he's a toy car, and just like throws him to the side. It's incredible. Listen.
Don't if it works, it works.
Some great looking stuff with Devastator later. So yeah, that plan didn't work, and now Ironhide's gonna be crushed. But thankfully Optimus is here to save the day by running into the device. Wait, no, I'm sorry. There's a secret. There's a first step I forgot to mention, which is he drops Roller out, who starts running between all the Decepticons' legs like he's like a dog who stole somebody's hat or something, and just like distracting them. And then he runs into the device and knocks Ironhide out of the big claw.
There's like a lot of stupid things that happen here, but I think the stupidest part really is when the humans get involved.
Oh
Spike
boy,
Spike should be dead, I would say, at least 3 times over in this episode. He should be a fine red mist.
He should have gone out like Anthony Hopkins in fucking The Last Night. He basically got shot the same way.
Yeah.
But no, he's fine.
But no, he survives just long enough to pass the ball to the guy in a wheelchair. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Does that scene from Mac and Me?
Yeah. Chip, take this grenade. What are you doing, dude?
Yeah, so to explain what happens, the thing that Ratchet and Wheeljack have come up with to fix the problem is a grenade.
Is an anti-transfixation grenade that literally is just like a mortar.
Yeah,
it is like a straight up a thrown mortar.
Yeah, it's just like a caber, like an old style hand grenade, like with the handle. And that's what they've come up with. So they drive out there, and yeah, Spike has the football, and then he gets shot by Megatron. Nothing happens.
He gets shot by Megatron but it hits his Hey, listen, we talk about parental negligence and child labor laws, but he's wearing a hard hat, and that saves his life.
Those hard hats are
OSHA compliant. OSHA compliant.
I guess they're pretty tough because one shot pings off of it.
Like Megatron shoots him, then Soundwave's like put that down and shoots him again, and he's like, "Ouch!"
Yeah.
What? What do you mean, ouch? Why aren't you a sea spray of blood?
Hey, stop that! Put that down, young man, or so help me.
I have 6 kids. I know how to do this.
I have 6 kids. One of them is a cat. 2 of them are birds.
One of them was a senator.
And now he's a bat. It's a long story. Don't worry about it.
I coercively adopted him.
Yeah. Wow, that's really weird. Don't judge. You weren't in my shoes.
Found family is valid.
Even if it's stolen family, technically. I took him.
I mean, he did find Rat Bat.
I found him.
You can't act like he didn't find Rat Bat.
Yeah, so they give the football to Chip, who, like I said...
Stolen Family's a really good title for this episode.
Chip goes full back at me, but he fucking wheelchairs down the cliff.
Yeah, we were talking about, like, there was a joke when, like, they were doing all the stunts and Sunstreaker was being really stupid. They're like, Chip looks at Spike and goes, "What is he gonna do?" And Spike goes, he's gonna make Evil Knievel look like a kiddie car driver. And again, shut the fuck up, Spike. Chip's the real Evil Knievel here.
Yeah,
this guy
crazy.
Is doing sick wheelchair tricks.
Yeah. So, by the way, at this point, the animation has completely fallen apart. Everyone looks completely...
It's never been more over than it is here.
Everyone looks completely fucked. The animation of Wheeljack running is incredible.
I actually kind of really liked it.
he looks so scrunkly.
There is something like very Scooby-Doo chase sequence about it.
Yeah, we're getting like 1970s Hanna-Barbera.
I was like, like if you could hear the xylophone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's what's going on underneath this. Like very Scooby-Doo chase scene.
Yeah, and everyone's really lumpy and weirdly proportioned. It's really something.
They really do just do whatever they want with these cells. It's actually pretty impressive.
And this is the AKOM difference right here. They'll if they are not
that's the AKOM promise.
If they are not literally pulling straight from the character model sheet, they are like, just do whatever. It's fine. Just do whatever. And that's how you get like all this stuff. So they throw the grenade. I love another weird animation thing. Like, it unlocks all of the Autobots, but like it also all of them like fade into the shot. Like they weren't layered properly. So like Ironhide and Optimus just appear out of thin air.
So what they actually had done was, you didn't see this, Mara, but they had 2 fingers up and a peace sign, and they actually put the peace sign down, which allowed them to fade in. Yeah.
That's a special ability. That's another outlier.
Yeah, exactly. That's another outlier. That's a special gift from Primus.
Yeah. Oh, also, there's another. I forgot. Speaking of invisibly, I just remembered a very funny line from Mirage.
Mirage?
Says, I don't like to show off. Okay, man, whatever.
Mirage and Sunstreaker really are fighting each other for the most pompous asshole award in this episode.
And I think Sunstreaker's winning because he's just louder.
Sunstreaker does win because he does it louder, more often, and also worse.
Yeah, he fucks up all the time.
Check this shit out, and then immediately beefs it if Gears hadn't saved his ass.
You Wind Charger. Even you can't keep the mini-bot straight.
Yeah, Wind Charger. They're both red. Leave me alone.
Now, Gears is mostly blue. But anyway, Sunstreaker voice. I bet you can't do this on concrete.
Gears isn't mostly blue.
He is. In vehicle mode, he is. Like
in vehicle mode, but I'm just used to seeing him in like root mode,
blue and
where
red
he was mostly
truck.
red.
So, of course, the final, the plan Z, the constant fallback. Megatron says, "Okay, everyone form Devastator," and they do, and it, and this is where the episode gets really good.
It's. I mean, Devastator's right. This is devastating to look at.
The 1 second shot of Devastator's big ol' hand just swiping everybody away is so goddamn funny.
Is it Cliff Jumper who like does the Jurassic sorry, not the King Kong Skull Island thing?
Yes.
Where he's like yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, so Cliff Jumper's like, I'm gonna shoot you, and like runs up and does that, and then just like gets flung across the ghost town into the saloon.
And you'd think, with his hand, right? No. You dipshit, did you forget about Devastator's telekinetic eye beams? That famous ability he has? And also the ability to go between Visor Devastator and Two-Eyed Devastator between shots? A very powerful ability.
You have no idea what he's doing in those instances. It's actually really important.
It's so yeah, and also just the forming of Devastator scene looks so fucking weird. Like the animation is so stuttery, and they just sort of like.
Oh, I don't even care at this point.
It's incredible.
In this episode, I didn't even notice. Like it didn't even register. Frankly,
there's a store in the background called Cow, by the way.
It does like feel Gen AI. There is like something that's like, this doesn't feel like it was quite made by humans, which is like pretty remarkable, actually.
Yeah, so
like, I feel like I'm counting fingers.
Yeah, Gears. Yeah, here it is. I'm having it on in the background now. Okay, so what happens is Gears throws a rock at Devastator, which does nothing. He turns around. Gears and everyone he's around, and like I think Ratchet and Huffer or something, all run towards him, shoot him ineffectually. Then there's a shot of them like shooting, and then Devastator's hand just slides across the frame and knocks them all over. Oh, it's fucking incredible. And then of course Optimus and Ironhide get picked up like fucking children's toys and get thrown through the very small buildings. These buildings are not, you'd think they'd be a little bit smaller than that. Also, Wheeljack can fly Iron Man style. That's a new thing he can do. But that's unimportant. What is important is that because the Transfixifucker was made for Decepticons, Cliff Jumper has to stand on Wheeljack's shoulders to fire it.
It is like, I do find like how they work with the mini-bots like really funny. Genuinely. Like Wheeljack literally goes over to Cliff Jumper and is basically bent in half over him and like puts a hand on his shoulder, is like, Cliff Jumper, come with me. Immediately. And like immediately they know what's like, he knows what's happening and does like a perfect acrobatic cheerleader flip onto Wheeljack's shoulders to do this.
Their small hands are perfect for getting into small, hard-to-reach places in machines, Optimus. They can climb behind things.
How many, like, microaggressions? Microaggressions do you think Wheeljack does?
Well, there's one.
That's me.
Well, Wheeljack does that every time.
Yeah.
He says the word micro.
Listen, it's the New Yorker in us.
And if we're talking about Minibot scale, there's an insane shot in the next episode that I can't wait to talk about. But they shoot Devastator with the car chastity device. All of the Constructicons fall over, and they all leave, and that's the end of the episode.
Good shit.
And Megatron's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it! They defeated Devastator." It's like, brother, they've defeated Devastator like 4 times already. He's not as unbeatable as you think. Now, you may think, well, that was a pretty crazy episode. A lot of weird stuff happened. No, it didn't. Not compared to the episode we're going to talk about.
Sorry.
Which is called Atlantis Arise. And immediately you're like, well, wait, what? So, we start off, by the way, another rare appearance. Buzzsaw is here. And he and Laserbeak are flying over the ocean, and we cut to the Decepticon base, and I love this line from Megatron, where he says, like, "Soundwave, why did you call me out here to look at your travel logs?"
It's pretty good.
Here's me and Rumble hanging out in Italy. He's doing the Leaning Tower of Pisa thing. Isn't that funny, Megatron? Here's Ravage riding the Coney Island Ferris wheel. He can't really fit.
I like that you chose, like, the one place that I actually go to regularly.
But Soundwave says this isn't a travelogue. You look closer. And then he shows a diagram of some shit under the ocean. And Megatron gets a huge boner because it's full of energy. And he's like, hell yeah. He turns into, like, the Tex Avery wolf.
Genuinely. Hootin' hollerin'.
Yeah. And honestly, we spend like a pretty long time with no Autobots in this episode. We spend like the first act of this episode with no Autobots, because then the Decepticons immediately dive beneath the Atlantic Ocean and meet King Nurgle of Sub-Atlantica, who is a big fish man.
He is like exactly what you think. He's like the creature from the Black Lagoon. He's like exactly what you think of when you think of Fishman.
And he talks telepathically, except not really, because he still moves his mouth. So
this episode is truly heartwarming. Worst people you know are fighting.
Yeah, so Nurgle is immediately the Decepticon diplomacy falls apart, this is great though. Some great Starscream content here, because Nurgle comes out, it's like, wow, you guys are big. And Starscream goes, I will conquer you in the name of the Decepticons. And he just immediately shot, and he goes, ah! He literally makes like a squealing noise and falls over.
It is like, this is also one of those episodes though, where like Starscream is correct through the entire thing of it, which is like always one of the funniest things that can happen in G1.
It's always funny when he's like trying to stop someone else from betraying Megatron.
Or just, like, the Decepticons in general, because, like, I mean, really, he's trying to stop himself from getting screwed, which is a very, like, likely thing for Starscream to do. But it's just, like, it is very funny, where he, like, the fake recognizing fake is so strong in these situations, and I appreciate that a lot.
Oh, yeah. So, Megatron does some old-fashioned Chaonian diplomacy, which is point a big gun at them and say, hey, we're friends now. And he gets a little tour of Sub-Atlantica, which is like a big underwater city built on top of like a geothermal vent. And I guess they want to go to the surface, but I don't really know why. Like, y'all can't breathe the air. You have to use like water masks. So like, I don't know why Nurgle wants to conquer. I guess he just like wants to do it. He's bored.
But it's also crazy. It's like, it took them meeting the Decepticons to decide like this is a thing they wanted to do, since theoretically they've been underwater here for like millennia. Has nobody noticed the gigantic underwater city off the coast of like the eastern seaboard? Like, it's just in the Atlantic Ocean.
It's
Yeah.
not even in like the bottom of the Marinara Trench or whatever. It's just like out there.
Yeah, it's I have a lot of questions.
Why do all of our ships keep sinking in this single stretch of water? And no, it's not in the Bermuda Triangle. It's just like in some random part of the Atlantic. But I guess they never really thought about it. Anyway, Megatron's like, haha, these fucking rubes. I'm gonna take all the energy. And Nurgle's like, haha, these fucking rubes. I'm gonna betray them. And they're both saying it out loud. Also, well, actually, so one of them isn't saying them out loud, but Nurgle has a thing where, like, he can, quote unquote, like, encrypt his telepathic transmissions, which just sounds like Animal Crossing dialogue. He just, like, squeaky, like, talking.
Yep.
And everyone is immediately obviously suspicious. Like, he does that, and Megatron goes, what was that? And Soundwave goes, oh, he's encrypting his telepathic transmissions. So
it's actually like it's Starscream on the side.
Oh, right.
Yeah, no, it's not. Megatron's like all in on this. It's Starscream constantly being like, "This I know fake. I'm a fake bitch. I know a fake bitch when I see one." So like, he like Nurgle does this, and Starscream's like, "Hey, what'd you just say?" And Nurgle's like, "Oh, nothing. Don't worry about it." And Starscream's like, Soundwave, translate that motherfucker.
Working on it. So their plan is they're gonna take all the energy and build a bunch of engines to surface Sub-Atlanticus so they can invade Washington, D.C. That's not important right now. You know what is important? Football! We're playing football. Now, okay. You said that Spike was in a really dangerous situation last episode when he was, like, in live fire with the Decepticons.
Now he's playing football against Grimlock.
Yeah, I feel like that's way more dangerous. I don't know how nobody died here. Football against the Dinobots? Okay. And this is the scene where it's the Autobots versus the Dinobots. Bumblebee is somehow restraining Grimlock, which is already preposterous, but then it becomes even more preposterous when you see how they have scaled Bumblebee and it zooms out, and he's so small. He comes up to Grimlock's knee.
Like, genuinely a microorganism.
He's fucking minuscule. He's like I can't hold him, Spike. Yeah, I bet you can't, brother. He could literally step on you.
Like, Brawn would have been able to, maybe, but that's in terms of the mini-bots.
And like, yeah, once again, it's just like I'm amazed that nobody died, because Grimlock turns into Tyrannosaurus mode to play football. So like, you know, not exactly a good. And you know, also Grimlock not exactly known to be a very good sportsman. You know, he's kind of an arrogant jackass. So if he loses, it's sort of a let the Wookiee win type situation in my eyes, anyway. Anyway, that's not important either. It doesn't matter because Optimus is like, there's some shit going down in the ocean. Who wants to come to the ocean? And Bumblebee, Hound, and Wheeljack say, I would like to come to the ocean. And everyone else says, that sounds gross. I don't want to go to the ocean. So they go to the ocean. Can you explain to me what happens with Wheeljack in this upcoming scene? Why he sacrifices himself for seemingly no reason at all?
If you are starting a sentence about G1 Transformers with the words, can you explain? The answer is no.
Because what happens is they get down there, they immediately get attacked by the Decepticons and the Sub-Atlanticans. And Wheeljack is just sort of standing around getting shot by a Laserbeak, and Bumblebee's like, hey, come into this cave, get out of there, man. And Wheeljack just says, no, go on without me, and like caves the cave in behind them so they can escape. But like, he didn't need to. He could have just gone. So why did he do that? Was he just tired of hanging out with Bumblebee? I mean, I get it. He's sort of a tedious little guy sometimes, but also you can just like push him over because he's so small. He's like the size of a fucking amoeba.
Especially this episode.
Yeah. Can we talk about Spike's fucking swimwear?
I'd rather not, but sure.
Why is he? What is going on here? I would expect like because the last time we saw someone do some deep sea diving.
Yeah.
And by the way, the fact that he's not in scuba gear implies that not only is Sub-Atlantica off the coast, he's got a scuba mask. He doesn't have a scuba suit.
No, but to be fair, you actually don't need to have a wetsuit to scuba.
Okay. So
there are people who do it without if the water's warm enough.
That still implies that Sub-Atlantic gets pretty close to the surface if you can just like scuba down there.
It means that it's probably not more than on like the better estimates of it, like the deeper estimates, probably around 150 feet down.
Wow, the buried treasure of Atlantis.
So to give everyone like context, I'm a certified diver, and I'm certified down to 60 feet, which is the basic version, basically. An advanced license certifies you down to around 90 feet, it certifies you down to around 120. It basically doubles your certification. But I've never seen a dive. They exist, I know they have, but I've never been anywhere where there is a dive deeper than 100 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So the advanced license gets you down to like 120. I think that's true. And then like if you're really, really a super pro, you can like go down to 150, particularly with nitrox. But like that's really on the deeper end of things. Deeper than that, you're risking getting the bends extremely quickly, basically.
This has been Audrey's Scuba Corner.
Yeah. So anyway, as Mara was saying, yes, they're not very far down.
Not deep. Like probably visible from the surface in a clear day. It's a giant city. So anyway, they capture Wheeljack and Nurgle says, "Hey Megatron, can I keep this guy prisoner?" And Megatron goes, "Okay." And then this is the scene where he does the encrypted thing again, and Megatron goes, "What was that?" And Nurgle says, "Oh, nothing." And Megatron goes, "Okay." And that's when Soundwave finally decrypts it. And it's incredible because he and Starscream are like standing somewhere off to the side. So he decrypts the transmission, and so they're just Nurgle saying, "All right, let's take this Autobot and make a weapon to fuck over the Decepticons with."
And
then they proceed to not tell Megatron about it.
And then like the look that like Starscream has throughout this episode. So Starscream's like, "Okay, I have to like spy on these guys." And the expression on his face as he does it is so scandalized. And like the music swells as if it's like a huge shock, and it's like of course Starscream figured this out. He's the one who's doing this usually. Fake recognize fake.
How could someone betray Megatron? It's unthinkable.
Well, no, how could someone betray the Decepticons, I think is to be fair. I don't think, I mean, he tries to plead with Megatron to see reason in this, but he's saying they're going to kill Decepticons. They've been saying it this entire time. And Megatron's
they have not been subtle about it at all.
Yeah. And Megatron's like, I don't think so.
Well, I think his thing is like, well, no, I'll fuck him over faster. They're like in a race to see who can betray the other person.
They are in a backstabbing race, which is also very funny.
So they get to Washington,
Megatron
DC.
is losing, to be clear.
He is losing. He's not betraying fast enough. So they surface Sub-Atlantica. They attack Washington, D.C. and put a big dome. They put a big dome around it. They put a dome over Washington, D.C. and trap all the Autobots in the dome. And then start shooting the Autobots. So now the scene where Starscream discovers the gun Nurgle is working on.
Yeah, this is where he looks so scandalized.
The magnetic dysfunction gun or whatever. The gun that makes you go ooh, ow, oof, owie. So he's like, I won't let you get away with this. And then he shoots Starscream with the gun and he goes, oof, ow,
well,
owie.
First he shoots Wheeljack.
Yes, he tests on Wheeljack.
So they're like down, and Nurgle's like, "Oh, they're like, okay, time to test this on this guy." And he shoots Wheeljack, and Wheeljack just collapses. And Nurgle's like, "Dang, cool." And then Starscream's like, "I heard you saying that you're going to use it on Decepticons, and I won't let you." And Nurgle's like, "Cool," and then shoots him with it too, completely predictably. And
then
Starscream goes, oof, owie, and Nurgle goes, "Well, you did better than the Autobot, but not great, dude."
Anyway, bye.
Yeah.
And then Starscream starts doing question mark to Wheeljack. What does he just like plugs something into his chest and starts fiddling around with him.
Yeah, I mean, it's plug and play.
Yeah,
You've
like
been in
what
this,
is?
you've been in this fandom long enough to know what's going on.
And that's when Spike and Bumblebee run and go, "Hey, stop that!" And Bumblebee tackles Starscream to the ground because he's all weak and fucked up. And Bumblebee goes, "Wow, did I do that? That's crazy." So they fix Wheeljack and they drive off. And Wheeljack radios and is like, "Prime, watch out! They have a pistol that makes you go oof, ow, owie." And then it cuts to Prime laying on the ground going oof, ow, owie, because it's too late and Nurgle already shot all of them with the pistol that makes you go oof, ow, owie.
Isn't that such a shame?
So it's time for, in case of emergency, break glass. It's time to call in the Dinobots, who are all just chilling back at the Ark.
I will say, this is the best part of the episode because it's just Grimlock being like, "Oh, wow, wow, look who needs to be saved again, wow." and he's just like, and like Optimus is like, "Grimlock, save us," and Grimlock's like, "Wow," and then looks at and then looks at the other Dinobots and goes, "Get a load of this guy, huh? Anyway, let's go."
It's so fucking good. He's so sick of being the fucking get out of jail free card.
He's like, looks like someone bit off more than they can chew again. What do you want us to do about it? And Optimus is like, "Can we please talk about this at home?"
Please don't embarrass me over the comms. So they go, they literally bite their way through the dome. They fuck shit up, as the Dinobots are wont to do. And he grabs Nurgle's gun and bends it and explodes it. And Megatron... Oh, that's right. And a real, like, fuck you moment for Starscream, who is here now. I guess he got over being oof out owied. We don't see how. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Nurgle's about to turn the gun on Megatron because he's wrestling with Grimlock. And then Starscream whaps him on the back of the head and takes the gun. And he goes, "Megatron, look! He was going to betray you and I saved you." And then Grimlock yoinks it away and breaks it. And Megatron goes, "Starscream, you idiot."
Yeah, again,
Bro
this
can't
is like
win.
a very Cassandra-fied Starscream, this episode.
Bro cannot win. At all. Even if he does like, "Hey, Megatron, I'm protecting you from being betrayed." If you break the fun new toy, Megatron's just going to be mad at you anyway. And so they all leave. They all retreat back to Sub-Atlantica. And the Autobots follow, but not well, they give a little distraction to buy some time, which is they shoot the Washington Monument so it falls down like a tree. And so Optimus has to run and catch it. And this is where one of the overall, I would say this episode looks pretty good for G1. It's fairly like easy on the eyes comparatively, especially compared to the last episode. But it still has a bunch of animation errors, and of course the most famous one from this episode, and one of the funniest animation errors in all of G1, is it's like Optimus standing in the foreground or in the background, and he's big, and you have Blue Streaker, I think it's Blue Streak, standing in front of him watching the monument crumble, and it cuts to a close up of Optimus going, "We have to save it," and then it cuts back. And Optimus in the background is still there, and then also there's another Optimus who has taken Blue Streak's place running towards the monument, and this shot lasts like a second and a half. It's fucking incredible. I love it so much. I'm just gonna get it for you, in case you missed it. Did you see it?
No, I was so distracted by the shot that comes after him of him actually getting
Yes, yes.
of him actually catching the Washington Monument.
And Grimlock just like sledding over his shoulder and be like, well.
Yeah. Who says nice catch, by the way? It's one of the non-Dinobots.
I think it's Slug.
No, it's one of the non-Dinobots.
I don't remember.
But
here's the shot.
someone, it might be Blue Streak. Oh, yeah, that's pretty good, huh?
He used his powers of cloning to save the Washington Monument.
Well, remember, his consciousness is in like 5 places.
That's true. This is actually just Roller's robot mode.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, oh my god, I totally forgot to mention one of the best parts. So when they're blowing up Washington D.C., Megatron Megatron walks up to the Lincoln Memorial and he just kind of like lifts him up.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about this.
Lifts him up, puts him on the side, and
by him we mean
sits...
Abraham Lincoln, as if he's not connected to the chair
he's
at the Lincoln Memorial.
He's like attached Lego style. You can just like kind of pull him off of it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the side.
It just clicks right in.
Yeah, and he sits on there instead. Which,
it's like a pressure cooker.
I think a couple of weeks ago we were talking about possible influences on the Bay movies. This for sure we know is referenced in Darker the Moon, because Megatron does this exact thing. He blows up the Lincoln Memorial statue and sits in the chair. There you go. Atlantis Arise. Important, influential episode. Influential episode. Nothing is important here. Which you can tell by how quickly everyone goes back to normal after having blown up Atlantis.
Yeah.
Although I should say, this isn't Atlantis. They explicitly separate this from Atlantis.
Yeah, this is Atlantica.
This is Sub-Atlantica, different from Atlantis. They straight up say at the end of the episode, wow, it's just like Atlantis, but different. All right. Anyway, they do some like D-Day shit for a minute. They like attack the beachhead, and then the Dinobots just like walk through the front door. Oh wait, I forgot how they got there. They all climb out of Optimus's trailer.
Oh shit, I did forget about that.
That's an incredible image. Just Optimus rolling up to the function and just dropping all the Dinobots off.
Okay, kids, thanks for coming.
And they bust shit up, and this is where, you know, everything's falling apart, and Nurgle goes, "Okay, I know what I have to do. I have to commit mass suicide." Right now! Immediately! And he runs to blow Sub-Atlantica up. I must stress how quickly he comes to this conclusion. He's like, oh, they're attacking Sub-Atlantica? I would rather kill everyone on this island than lose this battle.
Yeah. And they watch it get destroyed and they're like, damn, that's crazy. Oh well.
Yeah. So they go down. So the people who go down to try and stop him are really funny, because it's Wheeljack, Bumblebee, Spike, but also Ravage and Rumble, who Soundwave dispatches to check him out. He originally sends them after the Autobots, but then when they get down there and hear that Nurgle's planning on blowing everything up, they go, "Hey, whoa, what? I don't think so, pal." But he does in fact blow it up, and everyone leaves. And this is the line where like, wow. It's just like Atlantis.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Episode. It's called Atlantis Arise. So that's Atlantis. I think that is the height of insanity for this season so far. But it's nowhere close.
I would say
to
that
the peak.
this is the transition episode.
This is where things. Yeah. The next.
This is like not as crazy as things get, but is like a notable step in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
So, next week we get Nightbird. Next week we get explicitly gay Starscream.
She's not so hot.
Yeah, we get the epic Megastar divorce.
And the week after that, we have the best plan anyone's ever had: a prime problem.
Listen.
That episode's so fucking good.
What can't Starscream do?
Give him his Oscar.
Yeah,
give him his fucking Oscar.
We do have some questions this week.
Yeah, we got some questions. I think we actually have one on Bluesky.
Wow.
Wow. Let me go over there. I do believe, yes indeed, we have a question from Dan at bigchallenges.kaiba.online. What DC monument would you want to vandalize the most, and which one would you want to vandalize the least? How would you vandalize them? I can't. Weird. Every time I try to say something, it just gets broken up into static. How strange.
I'd want to vandalize the Pentagon.
How would you vandalize it? Would you turn it into the square?
A second plane.
Well, you know, No better answer than that.
Least is probably the Vietnam Memorial, which I actually think is a very poignant
Nice.
memorial.
Mm-hmm. I think it'd be really funny to give the Thomas Jefferson statue like a stupid hat.
Oh yeah, Jefferson was just a pretty unabashed racist. We can get rid of him.
Pompous racist shithead to make you wear a fucking like chicken hat from Metal Gear Solid. How do you like that bullshit? Fuck you. I don't care if you invented the dumbwaiter, you nasty old bitch.
Someone else would have figured it out eventually.
So it's literally just a pulley. You ain't special. I could have invented the dumbwaiter if people gave me the chance.
And we'd call it the smart waiter.
That's right. Yeah. Shit.
You
I could make
shitty
so much
old racist bastard.
I could make so much money in Silicon Valley with the smart waiter. I wouldn't even have to invent a product. I could just say it's like a dumbwaiter, but you make it smart.
But powered by AI.
Yeah, powered by AI. AI generates a burger for you.
No, the AI just generates what motion it goes in. That's all. You go up or down based on an AI's whims. And it's smart. And you know what? It's smart. Okay. Our first question on Discord comes from Coil, resident Autobot Rail Cannon. Why was Shockwave there for a second? Your guess is as good as ours.
Yeah, he just like teleported down there to see what was up and then teleported back. That's actually his outlier ability. He has like a personal space bridge inside his tummy. That's what no, it's in his tits. That's why they're so big.
Unlike his hair, his tits hide all his secrets.
That's right.
Our second question comes from Aurora Cosmos, like the UFO. Which national monument would make the shittiest chair? The Washington Monument. Though it might be fun to sit on, depending on who you are.
Depending on,
Yeah. Okay. Sabrina asks, which national monument could you eat?
The Big Donut in LA. Does that count? Is that like a? It looks like a city. It's like a city monument. That's like the famous Big Donut, the one like Andy's Donuts. Or
I just don't know what national monuments are. Basically, like what is labeled as a national monument?
Where do you cross over from like city to state to national? Like how famous does it have to be? Like, is the Empire State Building a national monument, or is that just a like city monument? Like, there's so many. But the answer is I could drink the pool in front of the Capitol building. I'd slurp all that up.
Great.
Big old straw. I'd become so big and round.
Weird fetish shit, folks. Is you literally use the I'm not even going to deign that with an answer inflates you making you big and round language. So don't act like that was like out of left field. Mm-hmm. Is Wheeljack a genius or an idiot for making his solution to not immobilize or something that explodes? And that's just how he prefers to do things. It actually has nothing to do with his intelligence. It has to do with his impulse control.
It would have happened anyway, even if he didn't mean it for it to explode. It would have ended up exploding anyway, because this is how it works. So he understands that.
That's the Wheeljack touch.
So he's like, well, I should probably just make a grenade, because no matter what I do, it's going to end up blowing up anyway. It might as well blow up on purpose.
You know that like Jenny Slate line, on purpose, I'm going to love you on purpose?
Yeah. On purpose, I'm going to
explode you on purpose. Yeah.
Well, he's working within his restrictions, you know? It's important to know your limits. And sometimes your limits are, it's impossible to make something that won't explode.
It's true. Okay. Next up is from Decepticon Ruby. Is John Wilkes Booth a Decepticon pretender?
No, because he's in Gigantic. This is the funniest thing about pretenders. There's a reason they haven't come back, other than the fact that it's a really weird idea. But everyone thinks when you see that, is that you think you see a Autobot with like a human-looking shell. You think, oh, they're gonna shrink down in the shell to be like covert operatives, right? Like in Revenge of the Fallen. Like that's how Alice worked in that movie, right? Like she was a small Decepticon. No, you fucking idiots. They go to a planet that's just Earth but bigger, and all of the people are just big humans, and that's how they blend in. It's a separate planet. You dumb fucks. What, you thought that they were pretending to be humans? No, they were pretending to be big boys. It's not how it works. So no, he wasn't a Decepticon pretender because he was normal human size, unless there's something we don't know. And he was actually 35 feet tall.
Could be.
Which would explain a few things.
I mean, could be. Is all I'm saying. Could be.
I wonder if I wonder if he ever came up in the Hearts of Steel comic. I should look into that.
I read some of Hearts of Steel.
Yeah. Did you read the annual where they fight Cthulhu?
I did not, but I do remember Astro
John
Train.
Henry. Yeah.
I do remember John Henry.
And he wasn't a guy. He was like a doomsday device. Like they just called it Astro Train. That shit was crazy.
Yeah.
Bring that back. I miss
that could be one of
Steel.
Hey, we'll talk a little bit more at the end of this, but that could be something that we dig deep into. Hearts of Steel would be a fun one for us, I think.
Yeah, because not only that, there's all that weird shit they did later in IDW to like retroactively fit it in. God, there's so much weird shit with
I have the
Hearts
of Steel Starscream statue, so
he's so cool looking.
I
don't think he ever even shows up in that. Is right? That's just like a comic thing. That's like a cover because like half of the designs from that are like they never even showed up.
I feel like he did at some point, at least in the biplane mode. But
yeah, the flying doohickey mode.
Yeah, the flying doohickey mode. Because I feel like I remember Bumblebee like being on his back and trying to ground him. Like I feel like I remember that, but Guide Sass, how did Thundercracker teleport and turn into Starscream? Well, Skywarp, right?
That's right.
So there we go. That's
Everyone is confused, including the animators. Don't worry about it.
Cog's most loyal soldier, Chet, asks, would you and Optimus Prime jump in front of the Lincoln Memorial to take a shot for Megatron's fusion cannon in its place? He's not a patriot. He does not care about the United States like that.
Which one even would?
None of them would, but G1 does not. G1 Optimus does not actually care about anyone that much.
Especially at some dumb statue.
Yeah, like, it does not care about anything that much. So do people just know about Autobots, but not that they can transform into cars? Or is that one dude just totally clueless and wandered into Stadium? I'm telling you, everyone has very different... You gotta stop assuming people have the same base level of knowledge as you. Some guys just like to watch races and don't keep up with current events.
That's right. They just hear about a guy named an Autobot who's showing up to the race ring. Like, that sounds like fun.
What's the
with no other prior knowledge.
What's the tipping point for Brawn to just kill Huffer? Literally anything at this point.
It's not far. I feel like Huffer just has to say one more thing. He's going to tear him apart like that gif of Shaggy. Like, he's just going to eviscerate him. He's going to twist his fucking head off.
Yeah. Just like pop it like a... pop it like a berry.
Brawn, oh no, it wouldn't work because he dies before the... But I just imagine like during the Battle of Autobot City, Brawn taking advantage of the chaos to kill Huffer. They'll never know it was me. But unfortunately,
and if they do, no jury will convict me anyway.
But unfortunately, he was already dead because he got shot in the shoulder one time and died.
Yet somehow Spike took like 3 shots this episode. Fine.
Well, in 2005, Megatron looked at his fusion and goes, "Oh, that's weird. There's a button that says I've had it on stun this whole time. Interesting. Let me turn it to kill." And then he just started blowing people up. It would be really funny. I'm just imagining a version of the movie where after that first battle in the Ark, they just like all the Decepticons just stop and look at their guns, really confused and scared.
God damn it! We Star Trekked ourselves.
Oh my god, they've never done that before. Why did that happen? Jesus, did you see Prowl's insides boil out of his eyes? That was crazy. What the fuck? What is this power? I don't know. That's
scary. Denny Stealing Faye asks, who did Atlantis better, G1 or Armada? I mean, Armada by default.
Okay. Yeah, because it was the only one that was actually Atlantis. This is not Atlantis. This is fucking Temu.com Atlantis. This is Atlantica.
Which national monument would make the OK's chair? I mean, it is the Lincoln Memorial. It's a chair.
No, it has to be something, but that would make it a good chair. I think the Pentagon. You could sit on it. It's flat at the top. It wouldn't be comfortable though, because it got all like the weird like walls, so it's like it'd be like sitting on a fucking carved stone bench, where it's like the carving is like a maze.
All right, 1 second.
But it's an okay chair.
What if I just Googled this? What if I just Googled what national monuments are?
Yeah, let's see. U.S. National Monuments. Give me a list.
I mean, there's a lot of them.
Oh my god, there's so many.
Yeah.
Oh shit, the fucking Devil's Tower. That's a pretty good chair. It's flat on the top.
I feel like maybe some of the volcanoes or craters could be good ones.
No, don't fall in. You have a bad time if you fall in.
I mean, if it's not active.
That's true. Very true. Lots of nice plateaus to sit on.
Yeah. I think probably one of like the craters would be good.
Why the fuck does this fort look like a shuriken? What? Check this shit out. Sorry, this is bad audio, but look at this. This is in your state. It's in New York. Fort Stanwix.
Yeah. You sound jealous.
It's a shuriken
You sound
building.
jealous of our shuriken fortress.
Well, yeah, when you put it like that.
Is what I'm getting from this.
Who wouldn't be? Right, move on to our next questorino here.
Actually, can I change it to like Fort Knox? So just so I can like cover, like do the classic throw money, like lie in a bed of money thing.
Yeah, dive into it Scrooge McDuck style.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
You got it. Okay. Our next question, I have to go back to Comlink. How should Huffer die? Badly.
Violently. He should die like Pipes dies in Morning Meets Ever, worse. Like way worse. And if you know, that's saying something.
He should die like that, but it should be Brawn. So it's like really micro focused.
Yeah.
If you know, you know, folks. Did the little water gurgling voice the Autobots do as they were going into the water make you excited for Sea Spray to eventually show up?
No, I fucking hate that dude's voice. It's so bad. He has a whole episode. It really makes you wonder why he's not a popular legacy character.
Sabrina asks, how can there be cisformers if Cybertronians don't have a concept of gender?
Alright, get out of here, Simon Furman. We don't need to leave.
Listen, I'm saying the word females has already been dropped. We know that's not true.
Well, it will be dropped in the future.
Hasn't it already? One of the episodes?
No, I don't think so. Not yet.
Are you sure?
They might call Carly a female or something.
No, but like, there was an episode on Cybertron with Alita already in G1,
nope.
in season 1.
You are so lost.
Jesus.
That episode is in the future. That is The Search for Alpha Trion. That is season 2, episode 37.
1 second. So what episode was it that Shockwave has been in, then?
He hasn't been in any episodes in this season so far.
No, not
all
I
of the
know.
Cybertron. He was in More Than Meets the Eye Part 3, Transport to Oblivion. Anywhere where they go to Cybertron, he's in it. But they have not been to Cybertron this season yet.
No, I know that.
I mean, he was in the Autobot Run for 2 seconds because they put his model on there.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm here. Goodbye. I'm not.
Okay. So, all right. I guess that wasn't Divide and Conquer. All right. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah. All right. Ruby asks,
Oh,
what if
Divide and Conquer is the one. Sorry, I just love this. Divide and Conquer is the one where Legion Big almost kills Optimus Prime.
Yeah. What if Devastator ate the bean like a big Chicago dog?
Oh fuck.
I think nasty farts. That's what I think. I think that's how that works. Chet asks, why does Megatron handle President Lincoln so gently? Oh, because apparently he doesn't have to be rough. Apparently he just snaps right off.
Just like, I don't know why movie Megatron had to go through all the thing of like blowing him up with his shotgun. You just like pick them up. It's fine.
This next one I will do really quickly because we basically already covered it. Why did Megatron build the cis-ray on Pride Month? Is it homophobia? Is he gay? Does he need to hide his burgeoning pride by oppressing the Autobots who are gay?
It's completely coincidental.
Yeah. I'm not a homophobe.
I don't hate them because they're gay. It's separate reasons.
Yes. Creamzeke asks, how orderly did the Autobots make their way into a car ferry? If Tidal Wave picked it up and checked the ferry like a parawiggler, could they orderly make their way to an exit?
No, they would all... I'm just imagining them, like, tumbling around inside there.
That's every time. That's every time they go in Skyfire now.
Yeah. All right, guys, belt in. And he spins and nobody has. They all go fucking tumbling
Or
around.
he like undoes the seatbelts because secretly because he's tired of being relegated to.
It's like the scene in the movie. It's like the scene in the movie where all the Decepticons are fighting and Ash is like, "Cut it out back there! Stop it! Knock it off!"
Chet asks, is it actually called a transfixatron because the aim is transfixed to one spot, never moving? No, it's called a transfixatron because it's a stupid fucking name. And
Scrapper
like,
came up with it in 2 seconds.
Yeah, and that's sort of like... And Hook was like, hey, actually, I don't think... And Scrapper said, shut up.
Megatron's like, so what did you call your new creation? And Scrapper's, it's a transfixatron. Yeah, a transfixatron.
Sabrina asks, how surprised were you that Scar were actually teleported in these eps? Delightfully so.
I'm so happy. And they also mention his, like, love of treachery and pranks. They actually... Someone on the writing staff of this actually read his fucking, like, Bob Budiansky character profile. By the way, one of my favorite running jokes on the TF Wiki is G1 Skywarp's love of pushing people downstairs.
Yeah.
It's a really good one.
I'm gonna skip these next few questions because there's so many today, and these aren't particularly related. Chet asks, if Atlantis was real, do you think the Atlanteans would look like these guys do? God, I hope not.
Okay, but these aren't Atlanteans. They're sub-Atlanticans. Yeah. Different. They aren't Atlanteans.
Well,
I hope
to be fair, Chet's next question is, why is it Sub-Atlantica and Sub-Atlanticans? The title of the episode is Atlantis Arise, but Atlantis isn't even here. What's the deal?
Stop asking me so many questions. I got 7 more piles of coke to sort and 7 more episodes of the show to write. Shut up.
7?
Fuck you.
God, I wish it was that few.
So, I'm sorry, I misspoke. 17.
Even that?
I gotta go.
We're early on in the season, my friend.
I gotta write 4 more of these. I gotta write 3 He-Mans. I gotta write 2 She-Ras. I gotta write like a Thundercats and a half.
And a gem and holograms.
I gotta write 10 TMNTs. I'm going, baby. I'm going. I haven't slept in 4 days.
And just wait until the army gets back to us about the contract for G.I. Joe.
I'm seeing ghosts out of the corner of my eye. I'm doing good.
Read Megatron's awkward rambling speech to the Autobots about the device. Is it ironic? Like Alanis Morissette said, baby.
I forgot about that weird speech. I wanted everyone to just go like, okay, what?
Yeah. It really is. It kind of feels, again, like Garzy's wing a little bit.
That's
I know.
not what...
Humans are just human. We're only human.
That's not what ironic means, Lord Megatron.
How does the Megatron / Starscream / Transfixatron scene fix into the established weird themes of the season? We talked about it. Yeah, we talked about it.
He does grovel on his hands and knees afterwards, too. So there's even more to add in there.
It's just human furniture stuff. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's but hey, no kink shaming.
Just imagining Megatron putting his feet up on an F-15 Eagle.
I won't act like I haven't read that fic. I won't act like it. In retrospect, the Autobots have worked so hard to save Washington, D.C. I mean...
Debatable.
You'd have to be a real piece of shit to be proud to be an American. Whatever the Always Sunny line is. Sideways Sam asks, what sculpture / monument do you think would be funniest to discover that is actually multiple parts and can be simply taken apart? I mean, it was constructed that way. It's welded, but I think if, like, the Statue of Liberty was like snap apart, that would be really funny.
Yeah, if it's like a fucking bionicle.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so good.
I mean, this is like a travesty to Native Americans, so like that kind of sucks, but like Mount Rushmore, that would just be like insult to injury.
On the plus, it'd be way easier to just get those bitches off. They just pop them out.
Oh god,
put some
yeah.
nails on there.
Could you imagine? Ninja consultant of Cybertron asks, which national monument?
Using a really big version, one of those things you use to like split Legos apart.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
those little,
yeah.
flat things.
Yeah, it's like the Lego Movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ninja consultant of Cybertron asks, which national monument would Megatron weaponize? I mean, everything for me goes back to the Washington Monument because it's such a simple shape, but
There's
like
a part
that's very easy to do a lot of with.
There's a part in Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance in the boss fight against Monsoon, who's the funny magnet man who goes like memes, the DNA of the soul, right? That guy, where he throws like an obelisk at you and you have to like run up it. And I just imagine Megatron doing that and like
we played Kingdom Hearts.
Sunstreaker having to run up it to do a quick time event to cut his head off or something.
Press triangle, do it.
That's right.
And our last question, follow up, how would they either fuck it up or how would it be destroyed?
I mean, there's so many ways to fuck it up.
You wouldn't hit triangle in time.
Yeah. Starscream, do the quick time event.
Yeah,
my hands are sticky.
The QTs will get you every time. You have to unfreeze me first. My landing gear is stuck.
Yeah, then he just gets punched in the face because he failed the QTE.
Yeah.
And then the Washington Monument just like falls to the ground.
I'm thinking about the not Heavy Rain. What case? No, it was Heavy Rain. The Heavy Rain game through playthrough that someone did where they just put the controller down and failed every single.
That is literally the I always say the holy trinity of Heavy Rain videos on the internet. 1, press X to Sean. 2, the video of the guy not pressing anything during the chase through the supermarket. 3, the video where Slowbeef and his wife are playing it and the controller dies while Ethan is staring at orange juice and it just keeps cutting back and forth to his face in the orange juice for like 5 minutes.
I mean,
and those are the holy trinity to me.
I have a different entry, which is
third entry?
Both my sons are dead. I want to have your baby.
But that's just in the game normally.
I know, and that's what makes it great. I mean, so is press X to Sean.
That's a glitch, though. To be fair, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Not like that, but like
when he's really far away.
Yeah.
God.
Both my sons are dead. Press. I want to have your baby. Incredible ending.
What a great video game.
It really does fit into the mood of G1, don't it?
A little bit, yeah.
We've been Prime Cuts. This has been a very silly show. You can find us at Prime Cuts Pod on Blue Sky. You can also find us on the Noise Space Network, along with the other great shows at noisepace.xyz. I am Audrey. You can find me personally on Blue Sky and Tumblr at Optimum on Prime. That's my funny robot internet joke. You can listen to the other podcast I do called Pot of Greed, which is about Yu-Gi-Oh! We are about to go on break after doing a wrap-up episode for 5Ds, but it's a great time to get into it, I guess. I've been cast in a audio drama that I'm also a script editor for called Disappearances of Lydia Fontaine, which is an active production at the moment. There will be more information on that soon. I am working on a podcast with the Moonshot Network, which we'll have more information about soon. And sometimes I do drag, and if you're interested in seeing that, you can follow Maxwell Warp on Instagram.
I'm Mara. You can follow me on Blue Sky at Mara Wyvern as Biscuit.social, on Tumblr with the Cyclonus at the 5 and of it. And hey, if you haven't seen it somehow, if you're not in the Discord all the time, there's a survey you can fill out. We are planning on launching a Patreon sometime soon, and we would like to know
We are
what
considering
you
launching a Patreon.
We are planning on launching a Patreon in the near future by committee. Fill it out. Give us some ideas. We have some ideas, but we want to know the ideas that you like, and you seem to like a lot of ideas. Fill out the survey. Do it. Do it now. I said do it now. Thank you. Until next time, I am going to prop my feet up on the mode-locked F-15 I have in my den, transform and roll out.
I'm going to put on my hard hat to turn away the haters and also the otherwise extremely deadly lasers. Transform and roll out.
Peach.
Transformers.